Alright everybody, hello and welcome. As always, I'm Sean. This is In The Mixer, episode 192 of our FC Isle of Man series, and Late Tonight FM has returned, so we've got to keep it down a little bit because if I wake up my partner, she will kill me. But if you haven't gone and watched yesterday's episode, go and check that one out. It's going to bring you up to date on all of our transfers, the big money signings that were brought in during this off-season, and of course a bit of a season preview as we head into our final season with FC Isle of Man and our final season of Football Manager 2020. So make sure you go and check that one out because there will be heavy spoilers in today's episode, but we're not going to waste too much time. We've got a Champions League draw coming up. We're going to play our first Champions League group stage match as well. Let's jump in and see how we've gone. So, first and foremost, as things currently stand, sitting in second position only on goal difference to Chelsea at the moment. We have won all three of our opening games, of course. We beat, on this first day of the season, Bournemouth 7-0 in a very good performance. We beat Manchester United in yesterday's episode, 3-1, a very good performance from the boys. And then we did struggle a little bit in patches against Bournemouth. Against Burnley. We did miss a penalty early on, which I think would have made it a lot more comfortable. We picked up a couple of knocks, a couple of yellow cards, a couple of players didn't quite perform as well, but we were still good enough to get a good result. Max Olsen with a goal in first half injury time. Ibrahim Cissé with his second goal in 2 games for the club. Eventually, the winner on 49 minutes. We did have additional chances late on as the game kind of spread and opened up a little bit. We just didn't make the most of them. And I think that kind of burnt us a little bit. Chelsea, they won their games convincingly, so they currently sit top, but there is quite a bit of football still to be played, so we're not going to worry too much about that right now. What we are going to focus on briefly in this episode is, one, continue our good league start to the season, but also the Champions League group stage draw. As you guys can see, or as you can't see because it's hidden behind us, we are in the second pot. The top pot I'll read off first because it's Manchester United, Real Madrid, Schalke, Feyenoord, Inter Milan, Manchester City, PSG and Porto as the top sides with UEFA coefficients. We do have a relatively high UEFA coefficient, but I think we automatically go in the second seed pot because we qualified finishing second in the division, whereas I think Man City qualified as champions and Man United qualified by way of winning this competition last season. No, I take that back. Inter won it last year. So what did United win last year? Maybe they won the Europa League? They did. They won the Europa League this past season, so that's why they sit in that top pot. There are some big clubs in the second seeds though. Barcelona's in there, Atletico Madrid's in there, Roma, Marseille, Juventus, Bayern Munich and Valencia. So some big clubs that we do miss out on getting drawn against. Third pots are decent. Lyon, Nîmes Olympique, Galatasaray, Red Bull Salzburg, Sassuolo, Benfica, Sporting Lisbon, Slavia Prague. And in pot 4, Anderlecht, Young Boys, Olympiacos, Leeds, Celtic, Dinamo Kiev, Zenit St. Petersburg, and Bayer Leverkusen. So some big clubs all throughout. I think it is a relatively straightforward draw though. I think the top 2 pots are much stronger than the rest. We are going to hit automatic draw and we're going to let this one fire through to see who we get. Worth noting, I don't think we can get either of the English sides out of these top pots because they are from England, obviously. So it will be interesting to see who we get. We've got Inter Milan, who are the reigning defending champions, which will make it nice and interesting. So we are in pot A with them. City have had Bayern Munich drawn in their group. United have had Olympique Marseille, so they've got a straightforward draw. PSG, who knocked us out last year, has got Barcelona in their group. Salzburg is going to be the third team in our division, which makes it pretty straightforward. You think both ourselves and Inter should get beyond them. And then the final side in Group A is going to be Zenit St. Petersburg, who we've played a couple of different times in different European competitions. But it does set up to be a very interesting group, I think. We'll go through each of the groups in a moment. So, Group A, Inter Milan, FC Isle of Man, Salzburg and Zenit. The top 2 should get through in that one. Atletico Madrid, Porto, Lyon and Anderlecht in Group B. Madrid should get through. Porto and Lyon will probably duke it out for the second spot. In Group C, Manchester City, Bayern Munich, Galatasaray and Young Boys. City and Bayern should go through comfortably. In Group D, Real Madrid, Roma, Nîmes Olympique and Lyon and Leeds. That's probably the closest to a group of death, but I would expect Madrid to go through. They are a very strong lineup. In Group E, Feyenoord, Valencia, Slavia Prague and Bayer Leverkusen. That one is wide open. Any 4 of those sides could get out. Man United, Olympique Marseille, Sassuolo and Celtic. I'd maybe think Sassuolo might surprise a few people in that one. And Olympique Marseille, I don't think they've won that much over the last few seasons, so they should get out maybe with United. It'll be straight duke out between Marseille and Sassuolo for those second and third spots. In Group G, Barcelona, PSG, Benfica and Kiev. Benfica and Kiev will be lamenting their luck that they've been drawn against Barcelona and PSG. They should both go through. And in the final group, you can't see it because it's hidden behind my head, Schalke, Juventus, Olympiacos from Greece and Sporting Lisbon. You'd expect Juventus and Schalke to get out of those groups comfortably. The final as well this year at the London Stadium, which is very interesting. Maybe we can win the Champions League on English soil. And I guess it'll be interesting to face Inter as the defending champions. That should be a pretty exciting match. When are those games scheduled though? So that is first up, so we are going to play them pretty much immediately, which is always good to see. So what we're going to do is we're going to play this game against Fulham off screen. We're going to come back to the match against Southampton, and then we're going to play our first Champions League group stage game against Inter Milan. Magic of editing. We're going to jump forward to that now. Alright, just like that, we're actually a couple of weeks further ahead. We had a good performance against Fulham, a 4-0 victory, which has put us back on top of the Premier Division table. There was also an international break, and I've got to get used to now seeing like 20 of our squad of 22 go away with international teams, which is good. It's a reflection of the level of squad that we've put together, but it does mean a couple of players have come back a little bit underdone. So we're not going to risk Lucas Gabriel. He drops to the bench. Furkan Yilmaz will come in on the right-hand side. Bruno Castro is also going to start in place of Henri Blaise, who would usually play on the right-hand side. Again, though, he was one of our star players last season. He's a very, very good player. Brad Taylor, I'm also going to bring in midfield. Both Henri and Temperini came back a little bit underdone. So what we'll probably do is we'll probably take off Henri maybe around half-time and give Temperini 45 minutes. We've just kind of got one eye now on that Inter Milan fixture. If we win that one, it's going to set us off on a really good stage in the group. But I also want to try and go 5 straight victories to start the season in the Premier Division. So we want to keep as much of the lineup out there as we can. To recap it though, Mancini in goal, Esteban and Push as the defensive partnership. Carlos Andre at left wing back, he's our captain this season as well. Furkan Yilmaz at right wing back, Henri and Taylor in midfield. Cisse over on the left wing, he's got 2 goals in his last 2 starts. Can he make it 3 today? Castro on the right, Yusuf Balde at the 10 and Max Olsen leading the line up front. So far, our leading scorer for the season, but that's a little bit inflated. He did get 4 goals against Bournemouth on the first day of the year. Southampton are playing a 4-2-3-1 because every big club in Football Manager 2020 plays a 4-2-3-1. They've got a good side, but we don't have too much to worry about. Like Fontana used to play for us. He was a good player. He could score against us just because it gives us, that little commentary crawl. Ben Riley's a really good English central midfielder. Descamps is a good player. Pinegar is the English left back. He's a good player. Like, they've got some good players, but we should be doing these, especially at home. Passionately, we're going to say, avenge what happened last time we played Southampton. I can't quite remember what that result was, but no doubt it contributed to us bottling the league last year against Manchester City. But there will be no repeat this year, I can promise you that. Ball forward there is poor. Descamps is going to get it back for Southampton. Press is good, and it goes back to Milio in midfield. Good header forward by Furkan Yilmaz, and Olsen with a lovely little reverse pass to Taylor. Edge of the area, gets the strike away, but Milio gets his body behind it. Good save, but a good little start, looking lively early doors. Carlos Andre with the throw-in, finds Cisse on the left-hand side. We haven't seen much of him so far in terms of beating men in wide areas, but his presence with the ball is fantastic. He very rarely gives it away. Balde's gotten in the box, squares it to Cisse now, and he's found the finish. What a finish that is as well. He smashed that one high into the top left-hand corner. His 3rd goal in as many starts for the club. Good work here from Yilmaz, just not rushing anything, finding Balde in a good pocket of space. He can't find an angle for the shot, looks for the layover, and Cisse just smashes one. That one couldn't have gotten top corner more if it wanted to. It clips the inside of the upright as it makes its way over the line, and inside 10 minutes, we are a goal to the good against Southampton. They've got a highlight here, though. Pinegar, Valenti towards Bougre, who was just offside, it looked like, in the build-up. The linesman's not calling it. They're going to say it's a total fluke. Oh, it looks like Bougre hasn't touched the ball, which would surely be obstruction of play. We'll check this one out in 3 dimensions. Descamps back to Pinegar, now Valenti. He's been credited with the goal. Surely Bougre is in an offside position if he's preventing the defender from playing it. And you can see the keeper there just waiting for the striker to get a touch on the ball before making the movement. Obstruction, is that not a thing? Is Sports Interactive? You guys couldn't figure that one out? We would start top as things stand, but it looks like Chelsea have already taken a lead against Wolves. We'd use a demand more shout with a few minutes remaining in the half. Southampton are getting a little bit of luck against us, or a little bit of success in terms of the stat count. It is relatively even. Free kick here though, deep area. Mancini plays it forward to Pooch. Switches out to the right-hand side. Castro knocks it down to Yilmaz. Now to Henri. Ball in the channel for Olsen to chase. Can he get it back on his favoured left foot? It's a good strike, but straight at Milio, who does very well again, pushing it out for the corner. Stats are even, but we've definitely had more highlights. Castro to take the resulting corner. Balde was in the area. It's headed away though, and actually it's brought back. Balde handballed as the ball came in. 2 minutes to be added on at the end of the first half, which we're through now. So at half-time, 9 shots, 7 on target, 52% of the ball for the Isle of Man. 10 shots, 3 on target, 48% of the ball for Southampton. We might be having a little bit of an international break hangover. So I'm going to say I'm not happy with your performance. And then we're also going to make a tactical adjustment. We're going to drop back to our positive structure, play a little bit deeper, try and invite Southampton out a little bit and see if we can't exploit some space in behind. We do also have strength on the bench as well. We're going to make that one sub we spoke about before the game. Temperini will come on for Henri, just to try and keep as many players as possible above that 80% mark for condition. You can see Cisse's dropped off a little bit as well. We'll probably take him off in the second half and try and get everybody fully fit and our strongest possible lineup available for the game against Inter Milan. But we are getting through to the hour mark relatively quickly. So we're going to hit pause now. We might make that additional change. We're going to take off Cisse and we're going to bring on... Actually, you know what? We're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to put Yusuf Balde out there. And he can play as an inverted winger. No, we'll leave it as a playmaker. Let's see how he goes. We're going to bring on Schaefer just up top, just to give us some fresh ideas, hopefully. You can see Olsen's not had the greatest game either. We might keep Martinez just in reserves if we need to try and chase a goal with 10 minutes or 15 minutes remaining. We are going to use a get creative shout though with about 30 minutes to go. Can we try and create something to take a lead again in this match? Yilmaz in possession, back to Mancini. Wait for the press to come before you split it side to side. He does send it to Esteban now. It works it well. Back to Mancini again. We've got numbers on the left and the right, depending on which way he wants to go. Esteban into Temperini. Fresh off the bench, looks for the switch out towards Castro. He has got Furkan Yilmaz there on the overlap. Temperini, good switch out towards Balde. Can beat a man in a wide area, goes for the drive himself. The angle was always against him, and to be fair, a very tame effort, but at least we're getting highlights again. Castro, deep free kick, looks to hang it towards back stick. Olsen was there, a good save again from Emilio, who's had an excellent game. And he pushes it out for the corner. It is going to be Castro to take. Right footed player trying to curl it back onto the right foot. Push goes in, but it looks like he's given away a foul in the build-up. Throwing on the right here for Southampton. Fontana to take. Balde with a lovely challenge. Wins it back in a good area and sends Schaefer down into the left-hand channel. Cuts inside. Has a reverse pass to Olsen. Can he find the finish? He can indeed. Max Olsen, 6th goal of the season. So early in the season. He is playing exceptionally well, and he was called up to the England squad in the most recent international window. Schaefer does tremendously well. Just cuts inside the defender when most players would probably look to try and go around the outside. Lovely pass there. Gets Olsen back on his left foot, and he slides that one back past the keeper for the 2-1 advantage. Can we try and get another goal to give ourselves a bit of a buffer and a bit of a cushion? I could definitely see Southampton sneaking something. Carlos Andre's gotten injured, which isn't ideal. Medjidou will come on for him. Hopefully it's nothing too bad. It says potential foot injury. But we will see out the remaining 18 minutes of regular time with no further subs and potentially with that injury cloud hovering over the big Champions League game. We're going to use demand more shout. They've got immediate highlight immediately, which always sucks. Descamps thankfully puts it straight at Mancini. If we go this left or right, we could get 1v1, and he has gone out to the right-hand side. Castro is going to come forward, immediately makes his way inside, and then goes to strike himself. Milio again with a good save, pushes it over for the corner kick. Castro should take again. Right footer on the left-hand side. Should curl back towards the keeper. Good ball towards Pooch. It's headed away by Narvaez, though. Olsen might get another bite at it here. Into Taylor. Now Esteban. Highlight comes to an end. Goal kick here for Southampton. They are getting quite far forward. Ball out to Valenti on the left wing. Castro with a good challenge, but Valenti will get another chance at it. Castro sticks with him and plays a good reverse pass to Olsen, who's gotten goal side. Can he find the finish? Maybe could have squared it up to Schaefer. Returned the favour for the earlier goal. Maybe just played him in on his favoured left foot, taking the defender away. Corner though, Castro to take. We've had a few corners here in the second half. None of them particularly good. Esteban that time did get a header on it, but Emilio again with a good save at his near post. 5 additional minutes to be added on, and really the only concern we've got is that knock to Carlos Andre. Hopefully it's not going to keep him out too long. But as the referee calls full time, a good 2-1 victory. They can't all be 5-0 wins, but 19 shots, 14 on target, 57% of the ball for the Isle of Man. 12 shots, 3 on target, 43% for Southampton. Passionately, we're going to say, well done lads, good win for us, and most have responded okay. Does see us stay top of the table, 2 points clear, the only team with 5 straight victories, though Chelsea and Manchester City looming large just behind us with 1 draw apiece in their opening 5 games. Max Olsen gets the Man of the Match award, and Carlos Andre is going to be out 3 to 4 weeks, which isn't ideal. We won't force him through any matches. We'd rather he came back and was fully fit. 6 straight wins, though, to start the season. A fantastic result. Actually, so it's not start season. This is the last game of last season, I'm guessing, this match against Bournemouth, but that's fine. We do only have a couple of days before the game against Inter, and we did look a little bit flat. So what I'm going to do is everyone that just started that match is going to get 1 day's rest. And then we are going to try and adjust our lineup a little bit. So Gabriel will come back in. Medjidou will come back in for Carlos Andre. We're going to put Harold on the bench as well, I think. Blaze will start. Temperini will start. It's pretty close to a full-strength lineup available to us. It's just Connor Medjidou that wouldn't normally be in the starting lineup where Carlos Andre fit. But magic of editing, we're going to jump forward to the match against Inter now. All right, a little bit earlier than we were going to come back because our board has just completed upgrades to the youth and training facilities, which means we are going to finish the series with state-of-the-art facilities, state-of-the-art training, data analysis, and youth facilities. Given how poor they were when we started, that is a fantastic achievement. All right, jumping forward now to the match against Inter. They've also started their season with 5 straight victories. Very impressive stuff for them. They also beat Manchester United last season in the Champions League final, which is one of those 5. I'm guessing they beat Zenit in the UEFA Super Cup, I'm guessing. They did beat us in the UEFA Super Cup a few seasons ago as well. We do go into the game favourites though, which is very interesting, given that we are away from home. I think we are going to make a tactical tweak. We're going to play on this positive structure. You'll see why in a moment because, or actually you can't see because it's behind my head, but the Inter manager is Diego Simeone, who plays his very deep-lying 4-4-2. We've played against him a few different times. He's been the manager at both Manchester United and Arsenal in our time in England, mainly at Arsenal in our first few years at the Champions League. In the Premier League, not the Champions League. But you can see, playing that 4-4-2, he's got some English players in there as well. Nick Whelan, who is actually American, now that I'm seeing it, my error. But he was previously at Manchester City. He was a great player for them for quite a few years. Corrington Silva, they've got as well. How much did they pay to get him across? 139 million. That is absolutely insane from Tottenham. We couldn't get anywhere near buying him at any point from the North London side, but he was a very good player we wanted. Marco Mayella, also another very good player. 4-star current and 4.5-star potential for the deep-lying playmaker. Duval on the left winger, I think is one of the better strikers in the game. He is. They're playing him as a left winger, but 5-star current and potential ability for the 29-year-old. Andre Luiz is a good player as well. 26-year-old Brazilian international up front. Traverso looks to be quite decent. 3-star current and potential ability for a deep line forward. So they've got some players. They've got some very good players. Boosie, I recognise the name of as well. 30-year-old Italian central defender that they're playing as a left back. So I expect him to be very good defensively. We'll see how we go. Only changes for us. Gabriel comes back in for a start. Medjugorje comes in to fill in for the injured Carlos Andre. Temperini and Henry will both start, as will Henri Blaise. Cisse, Balde and Olsen make up the rest of the starting 11. Assertively, we are going to say we're underdogs and that suits us down to the ground. That hasn't quite worked, so let's tell everyone that we've got faith in them. And that seems to have set most people to be pretty happy, which is always good to see. We might also switch this over just to be the Champions League results as well. We keep one eye on the other game in our group. Wide free kick, Blaise to take towards back post. Pooch is there, and it could have been his chance to open his account for the Isle of Man. Good strike, but Saurus with an excellent save. Cisse is going to take the resulting corner. Curling away from the keeper. Balde was in the area, but Saurus does quite well to come out and claim. And we have to be wary of the counter-attack there. You can see they're going to leave 2 players up at set pieces and things like that to try and catch us on the break relatively quickly. Throw in, right-hand side, Traverso. First real involvement from Inter. Esteban with a good clearance, finds Henri Blaise, can carry the ball through traffic. Looked over for a ball over the top, but a good header away by Whelan. The defensive 2, that centre-back partnership is very, very strong. Saurus, long back ball forward. Andre Luiz shouldn't be allowed to bring the ball down there. Pooch needs to go to him. Parastatides on the right-hand side. Cut back to Aparicio, edge of the area. Not a bad drive. Mancini was scrambling, but it does go relatively wide of the near post. Henri gives out possession in midfield. Now Duval gets the chance to try and dribble forward. Don't want him to drag the central defenders away. Mayella, Ruabin from the edge of the area. Again, Mancini scrambling, but it was wide of the far post. You can just see Inter coming back into the game a little bit here. We're going to use a demand more shout with a few minutes remaining in the half. Let's just try and give everyone some focus through to half time. They've immediately got possession and a highlight, which is always concerning, but Olsen's won it back in a great area. Can he drag the defender? Gets it back on his left foot, but he tried the strike, I think, from too far a distance and too big an angle. Maybe just need to slow down, play support in on that left-hand side. But as half-time's called, pretty even contest. 7 shots, 4 on target, 42% possession for Inter Milan. 6 shots, 3 on target, 58% of the ball for the Isle of Man. I'm going to say I'm pleased with how things are going. Keep it up. Then we're also going to mix this up. We're going to go attacking. Let's just see what happens. Let's see how the higher intensity press goes against their 4-4-2 block. I've got a highlight here, first of the second half, inside 2 minutes of the second half. Aparicio, wide right area. Ball cut back is away. Temperini does clear long. Mayella will send it back to Boosie. Back to Mayella again. All the way back to Corrington Silva. All the way back to Saurus and goal. Don't both close down. Played across to Whelan. A little bit easy on the way out there. Mayella now wide right to Parastatides, I think that is. I said it so confidently the first time. That time I kind of definitely messed it up. Ball over the top to Duval. Wide right area. Good passage of play here from Inter. And they've hit the inside of the bar and we managed to get it away just as it was rolling across the goal line. Mancini definitely beaten. But Esteban thankfully on his toes to keep us in the match. Looks like Salzburg have taken a lead against Zenit St. Petersburg in the other game, which would temporarily see them go top of the group. And we're through the hour mark, so we're going to hit pause here. And we're just going to go by average rating. Who's not playing particularly well? Henri, they're saying he's struggling. We'll bring on Taylor, see how he gets on. Cisse having a quiet game as well. Paul Harold will come on. We might switch this to be an inverted winger on that left-hand side. A little bit more familiarity to the squad and to the lineup. We're also going to use, I think, a Get Creative shout with about 30 minutes remaining. Let's see how we go. Deep free kick here, Ruaben to take. Andre Luiz in midfield, looks to try and dribble side to side. Switch out towards Duval's good. Lucas Gabriel's nowhere near it. I'm not sure where he was, but it does break nicely to Temperini. Now out to Yusuf Balde. Goes out to the left-hand side, and then the drive was fairly wild. I think he just kind of ran out of room and tried to go the shot. About 10 minutes to go. We have got one more sub up our sleeve. Let's roll the dice on that one now. They're saying Balde hasn't played particularly well. We'll bring on Uli Schaefer. Did score off the bench the last time we brought him on. Maybe he can repeat those heroics today. We're going to hit the man more. And we do have a highlight here. Ball from the goal kick forward to Pooch. Long one towards Blaze is poor. Aparicio. Mayella. Goes past Temperini like he's not there. Looks to the reverse pass towards Andre Luiz, and it's very poor defending. I'm not sure what Esteban was doing there. We're going to check this one out in 3 dimensions. He actually finds the finish, I think in the end, inside the 6-yard box. Either the keeper needs to come out and claim it, or Esteban just needs to get rid of it. Aparicio does quite well. This is the ball in. It's a good ball, but what is Esteban doing? Just goes missing at the worst possible time, and he actually side foots that one home from about 5 yards out. Not the best result. They've got a deep throw in here as well. Duval into Aparicio. Back to Busi. What can he do from a deep area? Looks to send Duval over on the left-hand side, who's definitely getting further forward here in the second half. Goes the strike. Mancini came out early, made himself big, and forces it out for the corner. I think maybe away from home, in these big tyres, we need to just stick to the positive structure for 90 minutes. Aparicio goes towards back stick. Duval again with the header. Mancini again with a good save. Yeah, I think maybe we just need to be a little bit more patient, maybe stick on that positive structure a little bit longer in these games. We are going to hit demand more in injury time, but the referee's called full time. 1-0 winners into Milan, 16 shots, 11 on target, 51% possession, 13 shots, 5 on target, 49% of the ball for the Isle of Man. I will say unlucky, boys. Just one of those days. Let's go with that. I don't want morale to drop too early in the season. We are still very, very early as far as the overall length of the season goes, and it is our first taste of defeat, so it'll be more about how we pick ourselves back up in the return leg. We'll go and have a look at actually when that's going to be. FC Isle of Man fall to late defeat. Aparicio got the man of the match award. He did have a good game, to be fair. Argentina boss was there watching a few different players, Mancini and Temperini from our squad, which is good to see. And we might actually clear out the squad and give everyone a rest day, just because we've got so many players going away at the moment for international duty. I think it will be tricky trying to get them all above 90% condition each and every game. As we look forward in our schedule, where do we play Inter again? It's the second to last game at the end of November. So what we might do is we might jump forward a little bit. We might come back tomorrow and do the games against Manchester City and Leicester in the Premier Division. One, because City, I think, are going to be our main rivals. They are the defending champions in the Premier League. That'll give us an October fixture. And then maybe we jump forward and do the game against Inter, the reverse. Maybe we play Inter and Arsenal at the start of December. Or maybe we jump even further forward, play Arsenal and Chelsea in the division. Maybe we see how our games go against Zenit St. Petersburg and Salzburg before we make a decision on that one. If we get 2 good victories, I don't see any reason why we couldn't jump forward. And of course, it is the last season, so we want to try and get a Christmas episode in there as well before the end of the week. Like Liverpool and Tottenham seems like the perfect place to pull out the old green screen nightmare for one last time in Football Manager 2020. So first big challenge, not the best result that we've had, but I'm not going to get too down too early. There is a very long way to go in the season, and the group stage of defeats, they don't kill us as much as the later stage ones do. So let's just take it as a learning experience. Let's maybe stick to that positive structure away from home in those 2-legged ties. And yeah, we pick ourselves back up and we go again and try and continue our undefeated start to the Premier Division season. If you want to help celebrate what has been a fantastic start to the year and a fantastic start to our final season in Football Manager 2020, you can drop a like on this video. You can also subscribe to the channel to be kept up to date on all of our future videos as they continue to release right up until the end of the year. But more than anything, I just appreciate you guys watching. That's the part that means the most to me. As always, I've been Sean, and I'll see you all again in the mixer.